Subscribe to The Honest Critique for current affairs, movie, book, and product reviews. Also, make sure you press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video. The views, information, or opinions expressed during the video series are solely those of the individuals and do not necessarily represent those of The Honest Critique and its employees. The following video contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers. Viewer discretion advised.
Our communal village called the kibbutz, we were celebrating 77 years of existence, and a lot of people came on the Friday night. Also, my daughter, who you just saw behind me, with the children. But we weren't the only place that there were big parties to celebrate. A lot on the Friday night, there were a lot of people, including in a wood, in a forest nearby. There were young people who were having a big party, not connected with anything with us. My daughter and most of the visitors went back on Friday night. My daughter as well with her children. Some of the visitors stayed. I went to bed. In the morning at 6:30, there was an alarm, which I'm used to, alarm of immediate shelling. I usually have about 5-6 seconds to get to my saloon, or my bed, to reach the safe room, which is it's a concrete room that was set up about 8 years ago as a result of all the time shelling. I ran there expecting to be there for the usual round of shelling. They shell and then we go out. I didn't take anything with me except my phone. After the shelling kept on going this time, it wasn't a one-time affair, and eventually we were warned that there had been intrusions by the Hamas fighters into the settlement, into the kibbutz, into the township. So we were told to lock up. Everybody who was in a safe room were to lock it and stay there. I locked it very well, and I stayed there, but I didn't know I was going to stay there for about 10 hours or a little bit more. Didn't take a thing with me except my phone. No recharger, no water, no nothing, in my pajamas. Eventually, of course, during the day, we have an internal line on the phone. And I heard people from different houses saying that the intruders have been entering their houses and walking around speaking Arabic. And they were asking, where is the army? Where is what's going on? They had no idea, the same as I didn't have any idea. It's okay up to now?
Yes, sir.
Up to now, it's okay?
Yes, sir.
You follow me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyway, this went on, as I said. I had no idea what was the result of all these cries for help with people who were being visited by these people. But in the end, after about the 10 hours towards the evening, eventually the army turned up. Yeah. And they asked everybody to come to the club room. One spot, one particular space in the middle of the village. We all got there, about 400, 450 people. And that's where I saw many of the people who had been crying for help and talking about people wandering around in their homes. But I also heard there that some of our people had been murdered during the day, and some had been taken captive. A mother, her son, one of her sons was killed. Another member with his younger daughter was also murdered. And we heard all the stories that some of the people who had been through those 10 hours, but I had no idea what had been going on. But at the same time, I also heard that our neighbors had had a terrible time. Some of them had been practically devastated and burnt. And many of the people had been murdered or taken captive. We, for some reason, also because of we had a number of people with guns who managed to frighten them off, and we comparatively got off lighter. The others, I don't know for what reason, but they were completely devastated by the number of hundreds of people who had been killed. And I mean, everybody, babies, children, women, everybody. They made no distinction about this was an armed group which wanted to put terror into the population. It wasn't, they didn't come there just to take over, because usually armies don't do things like that. But these Hamas ones that took our place, they who invaded us, they were out to kill and terrorize. Eventually, the army, as I said, began to search for all the intruders. Anybody that came up to my place, I've got an attic. They even searched my attic to see if somebody was hiding there. And on a Saturday night, we were all told we'd probably be evacuated. The next day, we all divided up into big groups in different places with security arrangements. And the next day, we were bussed out. Buses, most of the members, with their children and a few things they had, they took them down to Eilat, which is right down the south on the Red Sea. I decided to go to my sons and daughter who live in the Tel Aviv region, where I'm now, where you're interviewing me. And that is what happened to me anyway, what I experienced. It's true, or did you mention the Holocaust?
Yes, I wanted to know about your earlier experience actually of escaping the Holocaust.
I already mentioned that I actually was born in Poland, which there was also a lot of backlash toward Jews, anti-Semitism. But my parents got visas in 1939 to Australia. In other words, as a child of 8, I went with my parents to Australia and got there a week before the war started. So I call myself a survivor from the Holocaust. And now I can also say I'm a survivor from another massacre. I'm a survivor from it. I'm not a massacre survivor. I'm a survivor from it. But we've been wondering, well, I don't know if you know a bit of Jewish history, but we've been wandering a few places all over the world. There was some in India, and by the way, I don't know if it's of interest to you. In my township, there are a lot of Indian women there who I know from Bombay. I speak to them very often because they look after a lot of people in my area. I don't have one. I'm not, but this year, for a year, we had a group from Nepal, and which is not yet, it isn't part of India, but they're Indians. Because the same accent that I have difficulty in making out from you, I had with her. Now, I saw her every week. This Nepali woman came to me because she wanted to learn Hebrew. So I taught her Hebrew every week. And I got used to the different accent that you have from the other Commonwealth countries that used to be under the great British Empire. Anyway, she wanted to stay. She's still staying. All her friends went back. She's saying, this is only a personal story. It's not really connected with me, except the fact that I know her, taught her, and she speaks Hebrew because she has an Israeli boyfriend, and she's now living in Jerusalem with him. So we're still in touch. She all the time calls me grandpa. She's only 23. I'm 92. And she doesn't have another grandpa in Nepal. Also, my sons have been in India.
So, sir, since you have been a survivor of the Holocaust and the brutal attack last week, a lot of people are drawing connection between the Holocaust and what happened last week. How do you see that?
No, this is not the Holocaust. Holocaust was industrial murder on an industrial scale. This is not Holocaust. It's also not an army action. It is also not compared to ethnic cleaning, what they call ethnic cleaning. I mean, I see it as one of a very extreme Islamic group in the Gaza Strip, what they call the Hamas, who not only want to finish us off, they want to finish off the other organization of the Palestinians. They managed to kick out about, I don't remember now, 10 years ago, there was another Palestinian organization that ran the Gaza Strip. They kicked them out and took over by force. The other ones are in what they call the territories, the part of that used to be, which is under the leadership of Abu Mazen. You may know that there's a difference. They are not at all the same, and they are not at all friends. In fact, I'm not sure they won't want to finish them off before they finish us off, because they are the ones they want to rule the whole place under Islamic, extreme Islamic arrangements, beliefs, something like Afghanistan. That is not what I see the Israeli Arabs are up to. The Arabs in Israel are nearly. I don't think they're not. What's the word? They're not. They don't get the same rights, but they've advanced to a stage that they are doctors, high-techs, nurses, teachers, professors, all over the place. My sister-in-law, 2 days ago, went to an Arab doctor, a specialist in the field, who lives across the road from her. So, of course, they are discriminated, because there are also people who, you know the situation in India. I know it too. And I know that there is no love lost between the Hindus, and I imagine you're Hindi, but you have a lot of Muslims there too. And I know I read a lot. My field is really history. So I read a lot, and I know what's going on everywhere. And it's unfortunately, that's the way the world works. You didn't want, in 1948, when we became a state, you also became a state, or was it 1947? I'm not sure.
1947.
Anyway, the Muslims didn't agree. They wanted their own state. I mean, well, all hell broke loose but I don't need to tell you. I read a book about this called Partition Stories. I don't know if you heard about it. You have? Well, yeah. My son brought it back from India for me, and I thought it was, these are people in England who remember what happened. So I don't like comparing things with other events. This is an event of a horrendous nature, deliberate attempt at terror, maybe like the Daesh or maybe 9/11, but it can't go further. Yeah, they can't go any further. They can't go more than what they did. I mean, Israel is stronger, much stronger than them. But that they could do, and that made them for some, the heroes of Palestine. But they're not really. I don't think I don't want to enlarge on all my